In this video I'm going to be discussing lucid dreaming. I am an avid lucid dreamer and have been for years, though it does have its times of more activity than others. Also, it's one of the few things I will teach because I know it's true. I've done it and I know it can be taught. Many people have various methods of doing it. I did my research long ago under Stephen LaBerge when he first came out with the lucid dreaming. The first step in lucid dreaming is, of course, to remember your dreams. If you do have good dream recall, you shouldn't need to worry about this too much, but you can get a lot better recall with certain practices. That is, basically starting a dream journal. Keep it by your bed, and whenever you have a dream, and this includes the middle of the night most importantly, you get up enough to record the dream, write it down. You'll probably find that you more or less kind of get the dream backwards and that you remember the last thing you were dreaming, and that will bring on another memory, and you'll write that down, and then that may bring in deeper memories of the dream, and you go as far as you can in your memory of the dream, and in the morning you can relook it and sort it out. But this is the first step, is remembering the dreams. In this first technique I will explain, you basically use a mnemonic for something you do in daily life, and during that activity you want to ask yourself if you're dreaming. For doing that in a practice, you're basically getting it into your subconscious, or a habit that when you do this action you ask yourself if you're dreaming. And at some point when you're doing that action, when you're dreaming, you're going to ask that question and pause enough to question it to become lucid. Now that's not the only steps to this, but I'll give an example of a mnemonic, basically passing through a doorway. Every time you pass through a doorway you ask yourself, am I dreaming? You do this while you're awake, and you're basically training a habit, so at some point during the dream you pass through a doorway, you ask yourself that question, and then you can start the process of lucid dreaming. Now after you've questioned yourself if this is a dream, you have to have a test. You may, if you're an experienced lucid dreamer at that point, just know that you're dreaming and not have to necessarily test it. But in general, even for myself, I test the dream to find out whether I am lucid or not. There are several tests you can perform that work fairly well in dreams. One is reading something in the environment around you, printed words, looking away and rereading it again. My method that I've preferred over the years is I wear a watch all times, and I will look at the watch and count off 3 to 5 seconds. If the watch is readable and I can actually count 5 seconds, and I know that it's not a dream, because in dreams in general they don't work that way. Once you've established that you are dreaming, your lucidity will develop and come up. Staying in the lucid dream may be then the point of the problem. There are ways of doing that. Movement is the first and primary one. Run, do something active. I've also learned to focus on something, and the details that are brought out within the lucid dream and that concentration can keep me in. Stephen LaBerge has advocated spinning, and he also uses spinning as a way of changing the dream environment to another area or location or dream. But the main point is to stay in the lucid dream. You need to not wake up, and that means focusing in the dream, and by doing activity just as simple as running, spinning, or something, you can usually stay in the dream longer. Other methods of waking up in lucid dreams are noticing certain peculiarities about your dreams. And here's where the dream journal comes in most handy, because in many cases you'll have repeating dreams or certain themes within your dreams that will give you what I call a key. It's something that you dream about, but in daily life is very rare. For instance, there's a couple keys I use. One of them is riding a bike. If I'm riding a bike, I have to question if I'm dreaming, for the simple fact that I don't even own a bike now. So you'll find certain things that you may see in your dreams that will be particular to you that you can use as a key. I also use looking into the sky. Inevitably in dreams, the sky is peculiarly odd. If if I look into the sky and see something that is absolutely not normal, I pretty much have to start asking if it's a dream. And this one has worked for me very well over the years. Now, there are a few more points that you may use to try and help to achieve a lucid dream. One of them is regulating your sleep a little bit differently. In this, if you wake up around 2 or 3 in the morning, actually get up. Stay up for an hour if you can afford to do so on a weekend or whenever you have the time, and actually wake up and then go back to sleep. What you're going to do here is your consciousness is normally in a dream state at that point, and your body regulation will put you back into a state of dreaming pretty quick, in which case you can keep your consciousness along for the ride. Now, there is such a thing as what's called a wild, that is waking into lucid dream. I've had some experience with this. It's not an easy method if you wish to do some more research, but this takes time both to learn and to do, because you may find that you're keeping yourself awake and you're not going into a dream state for hours. But eventually it can be learned to do this way. I hope that any of this has been helpful, and that in exploring the lucid dream state you begin to understand the nature of reality. Thank you very much.